Knock knock.
Who's there?
Al.
Al who?
Right. Cultic is a head-blowing, blood homage being chair-throwing, dynamite cooking, getting resurrected in a pile of body right after being murdered simulator. The game was developed by Jesus Games and published by 3D Realms. They were the people who created the original Sigma Male legend Duke Nukem, and also the only people who ever managed to defeat the original Sigma Male legend Duke Nukem. A heroic, ass-kicking, misogynistic... what? The game is what many would consider a boomer shooter, a subgenre of games that aims to bring FPS back to their former glory, with fast-paced action, health pickups, graphics that doesn't look like a toilet bowl except for this game, and level design which I think could qualify as tests for dementia. Though judging by the way Cultic has and is turning out, the developers' ambitions for the game seems to be higher than the average Skid Row hobo on fentanyl. There are real attempts at innovation which aim to make Cultic something more than just a boomer shooter, a term which I have come to despise. Look, just because that my everything hurts and I think gaming peaked in the year 27 means that I'm old. Does it? Cultic takes inspiration from Blood, a game considered by many to be the best built engine video game ever made, even though there were only 6 games made using that engine. Look at this, one of them was even made by Lobotomy Software. It's like they know me. The story of Cultic is only vaguely present, looming in the background, lurking in the dark corners like the ghost that haunts your apartment. I must commend the dev for the creativity he put into the story though. In an effort to differentiate Cultic from Blood and the plethora of FPS games, Jesus Games has truly subverted my expectations. Because from what I can gather, instead of playing as a good guy, you play as a psychopathic maniac on a murderous rampage against innocent citizens of a small town somewhere in the mountains. First scene of the game reveals that our main character was fired from his job after a series of murder cases. I assume this is because he was discovered to be the killer. Then, before getting arrested, our man flees to this marked location, undoubtedly for our next killing spree. The game starts as we wake up on a pile of corpses, so it is only logical to come to the conclusion that after we slaughtered all those people from the place in the picture, the survivors as well as the local authorities have taken up arms to defend themselves. These people thought they have gotten the best of us, but because we're on a Sigma Male grind, we have been resurrected to finish the job. This being a video game coming back from death is expected, but I was still curious about the reason for this, so I went on Steam and... wait, what? Oh, that makes a lot more sense now. I guess the voices are louder than I thought. This doesn't change the fact that for the rest of the game, it is our mission to go World War III on this peaceful town in order to purge it of Jared Leto's influence. Man literally has an orgy cult with members calling themselves the Echelon. Our journey to stop the Joker's plan for world domination takes us through a variety of locations, such as small buildings, underground caves, all the way up the mountains and even through my basement. These locations are atmospheric and very well fleshed out, even with the limited graphical fidelity and the pool filter on. There's a unique aesthetic here that I like to call lobotomized core. Look, I don't want to talk about the graphics, but aha, you thought I was gonna do that again, don't you? Nah, ain't gonna do. Oh, fuck it! On this channel, I don't touch on graphics too much, but look! Look at this. It looks great and the sprite work is extremely cool. I get that the dev is trying to go for that dirty grindhouse feel with the graphics, but you gotta admit that this looks like you fell headfirst into a puddle of mud after smearing poo on your face and taking LSD. I'm not saying it's bad, but you know, maybe the artistic vision might be a little bit too clear on this one. I suppose the graphic does convey the sheer depth of shit your character is in, which is kind of awesome when you think about it. Speaking of awesome, if you are enjoying the video, please leave a like to support my channel because you are awesome. Being labeled a boomer shooter is somewhat detrimental to the perception surrounding Cultic, since people automatically think shoot shoot bang bang, gun goes boom and Satan gets another fuck buddy. Well, you can do that, but like salad, you gotta toss that shit up. There are layers to the combat, tons of variety on offer. You just have to be deranged enough to figure them out. Luckily for you, Crocodile is a hell of a teacher and I'm a very good student, so let me enlighten you. You start off with a pistol, and theoretically you can choose to ventilate someone's grandchild right off the bat. But ask yourself this question, wouldn't it be more fun to bash his head in with a broken piece of toilet? A blast from a double-barrel shotgun can quickly turn my guy into Geodude, or you can go primal on his ass and give him a splitting head X. Methodically popping heads from a distance with the rifle is an effective way to safely take enemies out, as well as becoming a beta male cock. A real Sigma male looks his enemies in the eyes as he blows them. Fuck, that didn't come out right. Or you can play the game the way it's meant to be played. Watch very carefully, I can only demonstrate this one time. I call this the Twin Towers maneuver. Remember kids, it's only a war crime if you're in the army. Though a first-person shooter through and through, I sense that Cultic leans more towards the immersive sim side of things. Sure, you can't sneak around nor can you stack boxes, but unlike Metal Hellsinger, a game which I reviewed and you need to go watch, there are enough interactions with the weapons to make your own fun. And combat encounters are designed in such a way that you can approach them from many angles. A huge part of the fun is to experiment to see what fucked up way you can postnatally abort someone. And you have plenty of chances to do this because there are tons of enemies in this game. Well, you know, there are mostly different flavors of rope-wearing Leto fans. But as you progress further into the game, you start to encounter more depraved variants of these sex fiends. They are kinky vacuum play enthusiasts. Ha! Dumbass can't even see me. Bestiality boys. And my favorite, the Gimp. I believe more enemies will be added in the full release of the game. Maybe then we can fight the worst kind of cultists, people who enjoy Jared Leto's Joker. The AI is what you would normally expect from an old school FPS though, so don't expect immersive sim intelligence from these enemies. Like a baby, self-preservation dives out of windows as soon as the cultists spot you. Comment down below any FPS games that share the same combat system as Cultic. You know, not fully immersive sim, but you know, has some of the elements in there. You can use the environment to kill the enemies, or you can throw objects. You know what I mean? I've tried my damnedest to find games similar to this one, but the closest I could come up with was Dark Messiah of Might and Magic. Game sounds good. Unceremoniously plopped onto early access on November 13th, 2022, Cultic sadly received little fanfare. Similar to Unity CEO's brain, it is as if Cultic had never existed. Barely anybody talks about it nowadays, and judging by the Steam charts, the game barely had an audience to begin with. Cultic was developed by JSOS Games, which to my knowledge is just one GigaChat dev working on his passion project. Right off the bat, this is beyond impressive because the amount of content and polish just from the first chapter here is enough to make a AAA studio blush in embarrassment. And by AAA studio I mean 343, and by blush in embarrassment I mean smash their balls with a rock because of how they fucking butchered Halo, turning a story-driven franchise with iconic characters and masterfully designed, contained combat arenas into a generic soulless open world with fuck all to do but jog around dick in hand waiting for the next mediocre combat encounter. Sorry if I came off a little bit too strong there, but you gotta agree with me that whether we like it or not, Halo is just a husk of its former self now. The admittedly short 5 hours I spent on the first chapter of Cultic provided more entertainment than I got banging my bully's moms last week after finishing my Hellsinger review. What I'm trying to say here is that Cultic is a really good game brimming with potential of becoming a great game. The game is in dire need of some well-deserved attention, and we just need to provide Jason with enough crack cocaine so he could finally finish the game before the sun explodes. Hopefully the full release coming in the uncertain future can garner some attention from the hardcore as well as casual gamers alike. Because it's not about just being good, it's about sending a message. If one man working alone by himself can make such a great video game, then there's no excuses for companies like Microsoft or Activision to turn out the yearly Call of Duty or another Halo Infinite. Subscribe to my channel and watch my other reviews here. Stay tuned to not miss my gradual descent into insanity. I sincerely thank you for watching. See you in your sleep.